Welcome to Flashback. We're up to episode number 15. It's Gamesbury's Having Life here, and we are going to be talking about Pokémon Snap. One of, weirdly enough, the most beloved games. People talk about this in such a weird light nowadays. I was a bit puzzled. I like it, and I have fond memories of it, but it's all nostalgic memories. I'm not too sure if
I
that...
haven't played it in years.
Yeah, same here. Same here. Anyway, Pokémon Snap is a first-person rail shooter and simulation video game co-developed by HAL Laboratory and Pax Softnica and published by Nintendo for the Nintendo 64, of course. It was released in Japan in March 1999, June in 1999 in North America, and September 2000 for EU regions. Do you remember the old days when you used to actually have to wait for these games?
That's ridiculous.
Yeah. Obviously, it's a spin-off of the game of in the Pokemon series, being one of the first console-based games as well, and featuring many Pokemon rendered for the very first time in 3D, which was kind of cool.
That was special.
That was special. Of course, it was re-released for the Wii's Virtual Console in December 2007, as well as Wii U's Virtual Console in 2016. And no doubt, when they eventually do the Virtual Console on the Switch, it'll be on there as well. That's probably where I'll play it.
Yeah. It's interesting we do this straight after what we just did with the Nintendo video.
It is actually, yeah.
About a Nintendo property.
Yeah, and weirdly enough, I remembered something in this where I would have been saying the opposite about buying a Switch, something that infuriates me about Nintendo. Yeah. But maybe we'll cover that in the future.
Another thing they milk. Okay, so I am actually a massive Pokemon fan. You know, I am.
Yep.
In my childhood, it's something I really love.
You were right. You were right age for it.
Yeah, but I haven't kept. Yeah, I was. I haven't kept up with the games since probably like. I can't remember what the last Pokemon game I played. It might have been this one. No, probably some of the Game Boy ones. I'm not sure. But yeah, so this game was a dream come true for me, basically. Yeah. At that time, because I'd only watched the TV show, and to have them in that form in a game, like you said, fully rendered, was a really special experience. I'd only ever played the Game Boy games like Pokemon Red, Blue, and Yellow at the time, and to see this game in 3D and them in this living world, it blew my mind. Yeah. It really is. It's a sort of mind-blowing thing. I'm not a Pokemon fan in that sense. I didn't watch the show and all that, but I knew enough of it, and to sort of realise this. I always loved photography in games. It's one of the things I loved about Beyond Good and Evil. Yeah. I love photography. So the option of this rail, take photos and try and get the best of it, always, that's one of my major likes, basically. Taking photos of Pokemon. Yeah. And you know, I loved searching every corner for all the different Pokemon and trying to get the best photo. There was the perfect shot. Yeah, there's a lot of replayability in there. Yeah. Trying to improve it, and I like that it included ways you could make the Pokemon act differently, and you could even make them evolve into their next forms. You could get some really great looking pictures through doing that. This is you mainly did that by throwing the apples, remember? It is. In fact, I've got it here as well. The fact that you would replay levels with items as well, items that you could pick up later on that change certain things, and then you could make the Pokemon react, or I say evolved, or do certain things. There might be a bush that's shaking. You throw something into that bush, and that Pokemon comes out of it. You could throw it on the ground, and you could make them come closer to where you are. I would say that like that aspect of it was pretty like cryptic. But it was a game that was designed for you to play and to explore and to experiment. Yeah, and come back again and again and again, because there wasn't loads of levels, but each one was quite varied, and the idea designed to be more habitable for Pokemon. Yeah. So I always remember there's like the first sort of level is like a beachy area that goes around. Then there's one that goes into sort of a volcanic area where you'll find more of the hot Pokemon. Yeah. Hot Pokemon. Yeah. What's the really muscly one? That's what I mean. Hot Pokemon, or you mean like attractive? No, I thought you were making a joke. I meant like I meant like Charmanders and stuff like that, Charizards and stuff like that. Yeah, fire types. Yeah, other fucking hot. Hot's not wrong. I mean, they are hot. Yeah. I just think overall it's very simplistic, but in a sort of relaxing way. Like very much so. Yeah, no, it doesn't stress you really. You just on the rails with your camera. You can kind of immerse yourself in the whole experience, and it's just relaxing experience. I think as well the fact that it doesn't move, it moves at one speed. You can't adjust that speed. I think you can get an upgrade where you might be able to speed up slightly. Oh, okay. Yeah. I can't... But it was just cool to see the Pokemon living in their natural environments, which obviously like you see in the show obviously, but it felt more like it was you seeing it kind of thing. Yeah. But of course, you got anything else? That's all my what was it we're going to touch on, the likes and dislikes, I suppose, but that was the like, wasn't it? Yeah. So we're done with the... Oh, have you got any more? No, that's all my likes. Alright, you've all confused me. We're going to touch upon it. I'm like, what we just did? Alright, yeah, so I mean, obviously there are things that aren't so good about it as well. We always do the dislikes as well. Yeah. And the most obvious is this. How cool would that game been with no rails, let me just free roam. Small map, but let me walk around. Yeah, it's obviously frustrating a little bit because you were simply on rails and had no control over your movement really. You just kind of sat there. But maybe it didn't make any like sense, like why the photographer wouldn't want to get out and get a closer shot.
Yeah.
Of the Pokemon. You know, if you're trying to get the best Pokemon in the wild, then why wouldn't you get closer? Kind of thing. I mean, maybe because of like safety purposes, because some of the Pokemon are like volatile, I guess.
You're trying to add logic to the fucking game.
But I think like it's obviously extremely basic, and unless you're a hard like, I mean, you said you enjoyed it, but I would say like unless you're a hardcore Pokemon fan, you might not like enjoy it.
If you've no interest in Pokemon, or even if you've just got a passing interest, there isn't much here for you. No. There isn't, because it is literally all about Pokemon. You know, there's no battles here, there's no fights. It's got a limited replay value. It's short, and it's got a very small, I can't remember, I think it's something like, this was still around the time when it was 151. I think it's only got something like between 50 and 70 Pokemon in the game, which is obviously like less than half.
Yeah, that's
true.
Yeah. You know, I just think there's not that much to complain about really, because it is quite simplistic. So it's hard to talk about what you didn't like about it, but I'm surprised you've never seen a sequel, basically.
That's it, yeah. Like how they haven't gone, okay, let's do this, but on a wilder scale. I wonder what the deal is
scale
there.
Where you could free roam, but I guess maybe in the newer Pokemon games, I don't know, maybe you can take photographs and they integrated that into the newer games rather than making a standalone title. Maybe they think that wouldn't do very well. Maybe Pokemon Snap didn't do very well, I'm not sure.
Interesting, yeah. I'd imagine if they said we're making Pokemon Snap 2, people would erupt. So they'd do what you said, fanboys.
Yeah, they would. I know that Nintendo doesn't have a VR system, but imagine that type of game with like a VR integration. I mean, how cool would that be? I mean,
that actually would be cool, wouldn't it?
Got Pokemon Go where you can hunt Pokemon out in the wild. Maybe you can see them in your phone. That's kind of like VR a little bit. Maybe if they had their own VR headset, that could be like pretty special, you know.
That's a pretty cool idea. That, yeah.
Yeah.
Last bit then, favourite moments, scenes, bits of music. Now, I imagine yours is blank for this, right?
Yes. So, what about you? You got... No?
I mean, what the fuck can you say? I actually wrote a line that's more of a rant in the opposite direction. I'm not going to bother doing it. And it's just the fact that what I said at the start, the fact that Nintendo have this inability to re-release these games on their modern consoles. It's stupid. They own the franchises. Do it. But what moments?
Well, I mean... like, I remember one thing, I think, where you probably wouldn't understand the references, but basically you can knock a Magikarp, which is a fish-type Pokemon, into this whirlpool, I'm pretty sure. And I think if you throw like 3 apples into it, it like flashes each time, and then the Magikarp evolves into a Gyarados, which is its second form.
I think I do remember that.
It's just this big dragon type water monster. And my only criticism left is that the game has actually become kind of rare. So if you wanted to find a copy of it, it's quite pricey, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. Don't really have much else to add to it, I think. There you go, Pokemon Snap. Yeah. Thank you for watching. Check out the other content. Hit the like and subscribe button.